Hi, Sophie.
No. No, your question, if you'd like me to remind you, was you wanted to know what Amanda's favourite role in film and theatre has been.
It's quite a similar question to the one I've just answered. My favourite role, well, I have two, and I'm lucky I'm doing them both at the moment. I love playing Mary. That was just a real gift that I'm very happy to play. And I love playing Miss Marple. She's just a lovely character, and to go back and do that for the third time it makes me very happy. And I get to work with the lovely Tom Goodman-Hill, who's brilliant. So Mary and Josie are my two favourites. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please have one for Martin.
Right, Abby and Claire, you're 15. Where are you? Abby and Claire.
Up there.
There they are, right at the top.
Go on, Maureen.
You have a question for both, but can you remember what your question is?
What was your favourite episode to film and why?
Favourite episode to film and why? That's really hard, actually, because personally, we have loved doing it. All 9 episodes have been really, really pleasurable to do. There was something, obviously, there was saving Amanda's blushes right back at her, really. I love working with Amanda. I love her as an actress, obviously I love her as a person, but it's very, very nice working with, because obviously all my stuff is not with Amanda, but when there is that added thing, it's quite nice to have her around. Otherwise, there's 5 or 6 weeks where we don't see each other very often. Do you know what I mean? So apart from anything else, we could actually hang out at the weekends. But to be honest, that one you've just seen was a fantastic episode. There are some episodes, because I think if everyone here is a Sherlock fan, I think you would all agree with us that it's very, very well written. And that's part of the pleasure for us as actors. You get this script and you tear through it and you just can't wait to do it. And that was certainly one of those. I thought the ending was brilliant. I loved all the twists and turns within the episode itself. And that, I mean, that would be one of them. But to be honest, I could sort of say 5 or 6 of them that I think are really, really strong to do. I mean, in the early years, 4 years ago, they were fun because it was new and it wasn't a hit yet. And all we knew was that we liked the scripts and we liked the show and what we were doing, and we just hoped that other people would agree. So that had a different kind of aspect to it as well. When it was all new, it felt like we were making it up as we went along, as a show, not as actors. Stephen and Mark would not thank me for saying, we made up all those words. But yeah, it had a nice spirit of embarking on something new a few years ago. But I could say 5 or 6 of them.
I think my favourite was the Reichenbach Fall. I just thought as a piece of theatre, it just did everything. And yeah, just that last moment when Sherlock jumps off the building was pretty momentous. And yeah, just for the acting and the delectable Andrew Scott being vicious and horrible. Was perfect.
Yeah, quite. Yeah.
All right.
Ella, age 12, you have a question for Martin. Ella.
I can't actually remember what my question was.
Would you like me to remind you? It was how much of your own personality do you use in the portrayal of your characters? Are you ever aware of using your own personal mannerisms?
Good question. And I love the way you threw your voice. You could be a vent act. Yeah, I think as actors, I think we do always use whatever is useful. If you're playing a character, obviously, you're not directly playing yourself ever, unless I'm playing a character called Martin Freeman, who happens to be an actor. But, you're always playing somebody else. However, I think you'd be silly not to allow things of your own to come through, because after all, that's what's most true, and that's what's most accessible about all of ourselves, is who we are and what we have to use. So if it's appropriate, and if it doesn't get in the way, and if it's not being lazy, then yeah, I think you can and should, by all means, use whatever you have at your own disposal. I mean, as John, I'm not John. John's a very different, much more able person than I am. But if there's a way, in which I pick up a cup or cross my legs that I think, oh no, that's more me than John. You know, so what? If it works, if it works. But there are also things you consciously do, like John's walk or John's general gait and carriage is slightly different from mine. But yeah, you're always using the same vocal cords that you use, and you can only see the world through your own eyes and perceive it through your own head. So you are bound to have things that do leak out, whether you want them or not. And very often I think, well, if they're in there and they come out, then if it's appropriate, then use it, I would say.
George Hannigan, age 18, you have a question for Martin.
Hello.
If you could give any advice to someone wanting to be an actor, what would you give?
I always find this a very difficult question because it's so singular for every individual. But I mean, it would be probably quite old-fashioned advice, which is turn up on time, learn your lines, and be respectful as you need to be to people who know more than you do. And bear in mind that there is always someone in the room who knows something you don't. Other than that, I mean, if at 18, I'm guessing if you're asking that, then you might want to be an actor, and you might have drama school in front of you and all that sort of stuff. Then I would just say if you're doing it for reasons that you know are true, and that if you are doing it for a reason that you have a need to do it, then that I think is a good start. I think you're probably too smart or smart enough to know that it's not glamorous, and it's not usually well paid, and it's not usually ending in fame and all that sort of thing. So, but if it's something that you would do for free, and you will end up doing it for free as an actor at some point, then I would say that's a good start. Just to know within you that you are doing it for reasons that you have. It's a form of expression, a means of expression that you have to use, and that you're not playing the end result, i.e. seeing fame or fortune before you actually go on the journey. Because it's a long journey, it's a schlep, it's very hard work, it's usually badly paid, and you will eat a lot of beans on toast on the way, you know. Actually, I do now out of choice, but yeah.
But apart from that, go for it.
Yeah, I just don't want you to start acting. You might be better than me. Yeah. I don't want the competition.
I've got a question for both of you from Grace, who is 14 and a half.
Where's Grace?
We've had a Joe and a Grace.
There's a Joe and Grace.
Hi.
Hello.
I was wondering what your favourite thing about being actors are and your least favourite thing.
And what was the second bit?
Your least favourite thing as well.
About being an actor?
Least and favourite.
My favourite thing about being an actor is working. And my least favourite thing about being an actor is not working. I think that's it. And also, no, I also love, because whenever you start a job, you start a new adventure, and you're thrown in with a group of people you might not like or you might like, and you're making this end product, and it's always very exciting if everybody is involved 100%. The least favourite actually really is early mornings. I hate getting up at 5:30 and then having to sit in a car for an hour and put a wig on, but it's fine. I'm not going down the mines, so it's fine.
Yeah, my least favourite, I think, is being away from one's family a lot. I think that's really hard. But that, you know, once you've chosen this life, you know, it will involve at some point, if you're lucky enough to work, it will involve you travelling away and, you know, not seeing your family for chunks of time, that's the worst part of it. The best part of it is the unknown. You know, I like not, part of the reason I'm sure subconsciously that I chose to be an actor is because I didn't want to know everything I was going to be doing for the next 5 years, and it wasn't going to be the same. And I like that. I like the feeling of insecurity, and I like the feeling of risk. And again, you know, thank God I work and I'm reasonably successful, so I can sort of afford that risk a bit more. But I've always liked that, even when I was potless and even when I was living in a tiny flat. I liked not knowing what the world was going to give me next, and yeah, that's probably my favourite part of it.
Oh dear.
No, I'm joking.
Katie, age 17, you have a question for Amanda.
Hello.
Did you read any of the Sherlock film books when you were younger?
I'm ashamed to say I didn't. No, I didn't. I was more Enid Blyton and Roald Dahl. I was never really into Conan Doyle. Even when I was sort of in my early 20s, it never appealed to me. It's terrible.
Nor did I. I didn't read them.
I just didn't know his work, and I wasn't aware of him. I mean, I was aware of him, but it didn't appeal to me. So when they offered me Mary, I thought about reading it all, but then I thought, nah. let's just wing it and see what happens. And I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing, but you know. Subsequently I have read some Conan Doyle. I don't know why, he can't hear me, he's not here.
Thank you. We have Jenna and Georgia, who are 15. You have a question for both Amanda and Martin.
Hello.
We wanted to know what's your favourite thing about getting a new role?
Go on, you go.
Well, partly what I touched on before was the excitement and that kind of feeling of unknownness. When you get a new role, everything good is in front of you. You know what I mean? So you have this thing on the horizon that you could do this, that, all these possibilities of things that you might do, people you might work with, directors and a whole cast and crew that sort of do for that time you're doing it, whether it's theatre or film or telly, become your family, you know. So it's a kind of temporary family for however long the job lasts. That is, yeah, I think that's the best thing, because it's only possibilities then. You know, once you're doing a role, it might not be going as well as you thought, or once you've done a role, you might be thinking, God, I wish I'd done it more like that, or, you know, why did I do that job, you know. But at the time that you get the role, assuming you want the role, the potential is all good. So I think that's what's good about it.
Yeah, just to echo what Martin said, I think, and also it's very exciting because you don't know what you're going to do with it. So it's always nice to sort of sit back if you have some time before you start filming or before you start the play, just to sit and just read the character through and see how you're going to play it. And it's nice because when you get into a room with your other actors, how you thought you were going to play it, it tends to be very different to how you actually do, because you're bouncing off somebody else. So how you perceive it at home is a lot different to how you would be playing it in the rehearsal room. And also how many days off you get. You check every actor I know, when they get a part and they get the schedule, they check to see how many days off they've got from filming. They just, because they're lazy.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
If there are days off, I demand to work on those
He
days.
does.
In a different country.
That's how much he doesn't want to be at home.
Esther Norton, age 14.
Hello.
I was going to say, what's your favourite Sherlock episode, just like not film or anything, just generally?
What that we've done? Our Sherlock?
No, I think she means
Well, you mean just to watch?
Yeah.
Of our one? No, she does mean of our one.
is it? Oh, sorry.
Yes. Oh, all right. I'll say Reichenbach as well. I'll say Reichenbach because I think it's got everything in it. It's a fantastic finale, but so's that. I love that one as well. I love his last vow as well. I think it's really, really strong. All the things that I think what Sherlock has, from an acting point of view, certainly, is that it's very, very smart. It treats the audience like intelligent people who are going to keep up. So it's really, really good words. You get to say smart stuff, and you get to do exciting things as well. And very often, things are either one or the other. They're very kind of, if they're intellectually led, then they might be a tiny bit dry or a tiny bit boring. And if there's too much excitement, car chases, explosions everywhere, the dialogue might be a bit dumb. But I think that Sherlock combines those two things better than anything else I know on television.
Yeah, there were no car chases, were there?
Not enough of them.
No, there should be more.
No, I was quite annoyed about it.
Yeah, you should say something.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. Mine was the Reichenbach fall anyway, but you knew that anyway. I just wanted to... It's just that you didn't come to me, so fine, it's fine.
Amanda, we've got a question for you now.
That's okay then, I'm fine now. Go on.
We have Eleanor Tether, is it? You're 16, and you have a question right at the back there for Amanda.
Nice. Go on, Mo.
Run like the wind.
Hurry up, Maureen.
Time.
Maureen, why are you hanging around?
Did you always know that Mary was going to be sort of evil, and because of that, did you put anything into your acting to kind of drop any hints?
I knew that she had a secret. I knew that they told me very early on that she had this secret, but they didn't tell me what that was until I got the 3rd episode and started reading it. I didn't really know what she was going to do. I had no idea that she was going to shoot Sherlock. And as soon as I read that, I think I remember turning to Martin and saying, they're going to hate me, because it's a shocking thing that she does. So we were talking about this actually when we watched The Sign of 3, and because I didn't know what was going to happen in the last one, there was stuff in there that I could have played that I didn't, and I'm quite glad I didn't, because it would have given more away. So I like the fact that you thought up to that point you thought, oh, she's so sweet, and she's you know, she seems like this innocent flower sort of thing, and actually she's a beast. So
well, no, but she's not. I mean, you know, I don't think she is evil, and I don't think she is a beast. You know, she has had a job.
She's done beastly things.
Yeah, she's done beastly things, but so have most of the people in Sherlock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, John Watson will have killed people. You know, that's not a great thing.
Well, you do, didn't you? I mean, you killed the taxi driver.
I know. But I mean, even before that, you know, he's a soul. You know, everyone in Sherlock will have killed people. You know, it's just that she's done it more and better than most other people.
And Sherlock's actually not very nice to people. To the general public, he's actually not very.
Yeah.
No, I like Mary, and I like all the facets that she has, and I suppose, I think underneath she's probably rather decent, but I suppose situation has made her do stuff she didn't really want to do. Or maybe she liked being assassin, I don't know. We'll see in the 4th series, shan't we?
Yes. Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren Renshaw, who's 16 and a half.
Are you Amanda? Christ. I suddenly thought I was seeing that. I'd like, you know, when you wear that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, oh,
wow.
that looks nice.
Okay. So was I. I'm joking. I don't want another, in 20 years, that will come back to haunt me. Yeah.
My question was whether you preferred acting in film and TV or on stage and theatre.
It's very hard to do. Like, if you'd asked me that when I was 25, I think I certainly would have said theatre, because I was more used to that and I'd done more of it. And every time someone put a camera in front of me, I was quite bamboozled and I didn't really know what to do or how to do it. And it seemed very alien to me. But the more I've done over the years, now I'm 28.
Let him have it.
In the last 3 years, I've got. I do really love it. I do,
it's
yeah, why not?
It's amazing.
I love both. I really love both, and I don't really see much. I mean, there is a huge difference, but there's not much of a difference in preference for me. I mean, I've just done quite a reasonably long run of a play, and I was shut up. And that was sort of enough. That sort of sated my appetite for that for a while. So I think it'll be a wee while before I do a play again. But I love what each of them gives you as an actor, because just as you think, oh, I'd love to do a play, you do a play, and then you think, oh, I want to get back to that intimacy of camera work. So, in all honesty, I don't really have a preference. It would then come down to logistics of, well, how long am I going to be away? You know, it would come down to all those sorts of things. But the actual act of it, the doing of it, I don't think I really have a preference. Although I think in my head I am still a theatre actor. I think. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. It's like being in a TARDIS. It's like I've gone back to 1985.
Weird, isn't it?
We have 3 questions left.
You better make them long.
We have Jess, who is 12, who has a question for Martin.
Oh. you ask her to say that?
No, that would never have occurred to me. Huh? That's a good question. I'm going to try not to give a general answer and be too lovey and say all of them, darling. It's hard, but there are lots of good actors out there who are. I think for me, and I think Amanda feels similarly about this. You know, to be a good actor, and who other actors like are people who are good, you know, good at what they do, but also people who are reasonably easy to work with. Because it's one thing, you know, being a star and being, you know, very impressive on the end result. But if on the way to doing that you're a pain in the neck and people don't like working with you, then I don't consider that really a good actor. I think part of your job as an actor is to be a good team member and to be someone who will, you know, act in a way that would please your mum, you know, and not get too big for your boots and not be nasty to people. So I don't know, there's lots of them. I mean, Sherlock is full of very nice people, I'm pleased to report. I mean, like everyone from Ben to Amanda to Mark Gatiss to Andrew Scott, you know, Lou Brealey, they're all really, really delightful people. Rupert Graves, on the other hand, is a sod.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's not, no. Rupert, who plays Lestrade, no, they're all really lovely. Sherlock is full of delightful people who are very good at their job, but also on the way to it are very delightful to work with. And those things are important, because if I've got a scene with you and we've got 3 pages of dialogue to do together, and I have just really, really annoyed you over lunch and you hate me, which has got nothing to do with the scene, that's not going to help us in the scene. So it's, both of those things are important, I'd say. Thank you. Thanks.
We have, for Martin, Anna Thomas, age 17.
Hi.
Hello.
What made you want to audition for Sherlock, and did you ever anticipate that it would be so successful?
Well, I was called in for an audition for it, and I thought, oh, do we really need another Sherlock? You know, do we need an updated Sherlock Holmes in our life? You know, and so I was a bit sceptical about it, and then I started reading the script, and within a few pages, I thought it was brilliantly written and really, really enticing. And I went in for an audition, and I was a bit moody. And I was a bit grumpy, unbelievable as it may seem. And I think I just, yeah, I think I heard back after about a week. I spoke to my agent and said, what happened about that Sherlock meeting? And he said, I didn't really think you were up for it. I was like, of course, I was really up for it. I was probably just, it was a bad day or something. So I said, can you please let them know that I am definitely up for it? And so I went back in again and read with Ben, and that was all, it was much better. And we read nicely together, and it sort of seemed like it was on. What was the second part of your question? No, not at all. All I anticipate and all I hope for in anything I do, and probably for most actors, is that A, you like it yourself, and B, your family and friends like it. And I thought that it was good. I thought it was a really very, very, very solid piece of work, and unlike anything I'd seen, certainly on British telly. But there was no way any of us could have guessed in a million years that it would take on the worldwide thing. There's no way. You know, we just knew that we liked it and we were proud of it, but the fact that it's become this phenomenon was completely a surprise to all of us. Yeah.
Last one. Oh. Read.
Kathleen O'Reilly, who's 17, you have a question for Martin.
Should we both answer it?
Yeah.
Unless it's what do you love about Amanda?
Yeah, I could answer that.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
It was kind of for both of you anyway. It was that considering that the books have such a large following, there have been many adaptations, were you quite worried about starting out in Sherlock and how people would receive it?
I was terrified, yeah, I was terrified of playing her. Because she's not a particularly well-rounded character in the book. She sort of comes in and is a bit like, and then goes. So I was a little bit anxious about what they were going to do. And so, I've forgotten the question.
Were you worried about anticipating playing it and how people
Yes,
would receive it?
I was nervous and very anxious about it. Because I knew that she was a bit like Marmite. I knew that people either really loved her or they couldn't stand her. So I knew that there would be two camps of people that would feel that way about her, and there are, and that's fair enough. And you can, you don't have to like every character. That's fine. But I think she's so divisive with terms of John and Sherlock that it was a bit daunting. Yeah, but I do love her, and I love playing her, and I think she's a good strong character, and I think that she is a good addition to the Sherlock family, I think, personally.
She's brilliantly written.
Yeah.
I mean, like all of them, it's a fantastically written part.
Yeah. Yeah, because we always, I think, females moan about there not being enough strong women on television and not enough role models and not enough strong acting roles for women. And I think, God, she's a little gem, as is, Molly and Mrs. Hudson. All of them are. Irene. They're all brilliantly written women, and I think we have to kind of remember that sometimes.
I was a tiny bit. I wasn't anxious about it, but I just, like I said, I was wrong. I wrongly thought, no, is this going to be good, a modern Sherlock? And then I read it and thought, yes, it's brilliant. And then we did a pilot with 60 minutes, and we all thought, God, that was one of the best things we've ever done. The pilot we loved. And then I heard that it was not going to be a 60 minutes, it was going to be like 390 minutes. And I, again, thought, that's a bad idea. I thought that will never work. Why are they doing that? It's pointless. And again, I was happy to say I was wrong. But no, I wasn't. In all honesty, I had a slightly... I used to say to people and we would talk like in the makeup truck and stuff, when we were making the pilot, and certainly making the first episode, the first 90-minute episode, we couldn't wait till people saw it, I couldn't wait till people saw it. It felt like this thing that people kind of knew someone was making a modern Sherlock and were going to be maybe prepared to be sniffy about and quite snobbish about it. And I just remember thinking the writing is so good. Paul McGuigan was so good, once we were making that first episode. So good as a director. Ben is so good, he's perfect.
But
Sherlock
all of you,
Holmes.
I mean, all of the cast, I think, in that first
indeed,
episode, I think it does blow you away.
It's a very
It's
strong
beautiful.
piece of work. Yeah, it is. And Andrew appears at the end of the first. It's an amazing first episode, and because we knew that as we were making it, we kind of knew it, Well, as I said, I didn't anticipate the global success it's had, but we knew it was good, and we knew it was something we were proud of. So, no, as soon as I started reading it, I thought it was a good thing. It was only before I'd read it that I thought, a modern Sherlock Holmes, will that be too cool for school, sort of thing. But a few pages in, I just thought, no, this is fantastic.
Well, Martin and Amanda, on behalf of the Hertford Children's Book Festival and your audience today, we want to thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Alan. Thank you very much.